Eruptive activity since the latter half of March 25 has somewhat stabilized, but is also producing intermittent decreases and increases in activity. I personally estimate that no more than 9.5 cubic meters per second of molten rock is actively erupting at the present. Despite a slowly dying eruption, molten rock has still continued to flow into new areas, including parts of two kapukas. Kapukas are isolated patches of terrain that are typically, although not always, kapukas raised above the surrounding landscape, which are surrounded on all sides by young lava flows. While a smaller kapuka with an area of 500 square meters existed 3 days ago, it has since been completely covered by fresh lava. Another larger kapuka in the same timespan has since been reduced to 1/3 its original size. This area will likely be completely filled within the next 4 to 5 days. Lava is only flowing towards the south and southwest, and in the last 72 hours has covered an additional 0.32 square kilometers, with new areas being shaded in red. The main expansion occurred at the Melhals mine, which is now completely covered in molten rock and is thus unusable. In total, lava has so far covered 6.18 square kilometers or 2.39 square miles in a grand total of 27.9 million cubic meters of molten rock. So, where exactly does this volume rank size comparison amongst other eruptions with large effusive components which had a low silica content? In the context of recent Reykjanes Peninsula eruptions since 2021, it ranks in as the second largest. However, if we expand and look at other eruptions in the rest of Iceland, 27.9 million cubic meters is quite small. In fact, this figure is 896 times smaller than the largest effusive eruption to occur in Iceland since the end of the last ice age. While it is larger than one of Nýr-Göngu's 3 recent flank eruptions, it is still smaller than all 3 of Mauna Loa's recent eruptions. In a world context, the current eruption is indeed quite small. Footage circulating online shows workers using bulldozers to scrape fresh lava. That lava wall overtopped a 4-meter-high lava wall which I have geolocated to this segment in yellow. This dirt barrier is going to be thickened and increased in height by another 5 to 6 meters to prevent any molten rock from spilling over into Grindavik. Although lava effusion rates are continuing to, sulfur dioxide emissions decrease alongside volcanic gas emissions. Sulfur dioxide has still proven to be an intermittent issue in recent days. Air quality sensors in Hafnir at one point measured sulfur dioxide gas emissions at a concentration of 7,000 micrograms per cubic meter. For reference, 20.3 micrograms per cubic meter of sulfur dioxide is equal to 1 part per million of sulfur dioxide in the air. Exposure to greater than 2 parts per million of sulfur dioxide is considered unsafe, meaning that outdoor activity had to be halted at Hafnir until the gas emissions eventually dissipated at that village. As a final note, I would like to thank this channel's patrons on Patreon and channel members on YouTube.